Hey everyone, I haven't done one of these videos in a while. I haven't really posted much content lately, but I figure since a lot of people ask me, about my beliefs, my faith, and I've tended to shy away from talking about it because I know that, religion, Christianity, all that fun stuff can be a tough topic to talk about, especially online. Understandably, religion has hurt a lot of people. There's, family conflict, there's abuse, and I get it. And so I've I've been pretty private and shy about talking about this aspect of my life. Although if you know me, on a more friendly level, then I share breadcrumbs of my life. My involvement with the church, my faith, and I figure since it's Easter, it's probably one of the few times in the year that it seems like not that it's like acceptable or not acceptable, but it's kind of more of a current events topic because it's Easter. It's it's a holiday for many. So yeah, I just want to just share about kind of just my beliefs, my faith. It's hard to talk about because I know that even in the gaming community in the Smash scene, there's been cringy examples of it to say the least, and so I've been really hesitant, really shy, but I figure, it's part of my life. It's important to me. And I figure that there are enough people out there that, respect it. So I figure, this is who I am. And so I'll, start off by saying that my faith has anchored me in my entire life, but especially in the last year. I was in a really dark place. Leaving CLG, failing, despite putting what I perceive to be 110% effort, putting 70, 80 hours a week, I failed. And not only did I failed hard, failed in the worst way possible. If you look in anything League of Legends related, you'll see my name, ninth place, 10th place, there's no skirting around it. I failed. And that is a tough pill to swallow. For me, who, I've seen a reasonable amount of success in everything I've done in my life, to come to a place where, truly believing if I were to put 100% into something that I would see success and not was soul crushing. Not only that, because I am an online, persona, my face is out there, it's something that I can't really walk away from. It's, I got heat everywhere from, Twitter, personal email, wherever I went. Everyone mentioned. It seemed like everybody mentioned the Bud Light Ace. People were talking about my credibility, and it's easy to say like, hey, like don't, you can just ignore it. These people are just haters. Fact of the matter is, some of the things that people were saying about me are true. Like they're factually true, and it's really hard to really deal with because you can't really argue against somebody telling you facts. And it's hard, and then over time it becomes more difficult to delineate between your success as a person versus your success or failures. And what I mean by that is people started attacking my character, my integrity, and I lost a lot of confidence in myself. And I think the hardest part of all this was I felt like I let so many people down. Um, I felt like I let the players down. I let the coaching staff down. I let the CLG staff down. I let the fans down. And there were so many people that I felt burdened by failing. And, there is a part of me that thinks, if I did this better, if I made this decision, CLG would still exist today, that they would see success. The friends and the peers and the coworkers, players and coaches would still be in the LCS, and part of me thinks that like a lot of them aren't in the LCS because of me, and that is tough because I never want to be in a position to burden people, to let people down, to fail them, and it almost got to the point, and I think out of that, I just couldn't trust myself to lead anymore. I was just like, well, like there was that time. What would happen after that was, hey, like there's that in the back of my mind. If I got into any kind of responsibility, I would be like, hey, like remember that time at CLG where you let all those people down and you failed them, and so it scared me to want to lead or do anything with responsibilities because I knew I failed. So that's where I was, and I believe that I was not competent to do anything ever again. I didn't think I could pick myself back up, and I fundamentally felt, just not beating around the bush. I felt worthless. Like I just didn't think I was capable of doing anything. Amidst that, like I think COVID was really rough. It's been rough for a bunch of people. Firsthand, amidst everything that I was going through, I walked into someone really close to me attempting to end their life, where I caught the person in the very last moment. And so, needless to say, I was not in a good spot. Um, and so, amidst all this, like, there's it's really hard because I'm dealing with all this, and like I hadn't been going to church in a while. I haven't been plugged in. I've been, in the LCS. They work Sundays, so faith in my relationship with God took a backseat. But I think very fortunately, after leaving esports, it gave me the time and space to reflect on my beliefs. Um, got plugged in with a group of people, and most importantly, I was reminded a lot about, I'm just going to say it, God's love for me. And amidst feeling so worthless and just, I don't know, depressed, like I was reminded of the fact that God loves me regardless of what I do, of my failures. I wish I one took this. All right. Of of my mistakes, my incapabilities, of my failures, I think over the past year, I was reminded that regardless of how successful or not successful I was, that there is a God in heaven that loves me, and that's been the anchor of my past year, of being reminded that it isn't about performance, it isn't about what I do, it isn't about how much money I make, it isn't about how clouded I am, or clouded I have my networks, the people that are around me that define success. It's the simple fact that God loves me unconditionally. And I think over the past few years, in a world where you're in esports, it's about clout, it's about what you've done lately, and it's really easy to get this all murky where you start believing that just because you know some people, you make money or you've seen success, that makes you more valuable as a person. And I think I bought into that, and I think I forgot where I've come from. And so yeah, it's been great, and I've been anchored by this and want to share that. And then I think where faith leads me, um, I think there are two versions of myself. One I don't really like, and one that I think is more in line with my value system. And the first version of myself is one that is insecure. It is one that constantly needs validation. It is one that, even in the guise of helping others, it's more of a validation to myself. It's inherently selfish. I hate it. Um, and then but I think this is where faith guides me, and these are kind of just like the three ways that like faith kind of like carries me in my life and who I am. It's first off, it's understanding who I am in God, my identity, my alignment, to know that I am loved unconditionally. And the more that I understand that, from a very personal, level, the more that my insecurities go away. It's like, why do I need validation? Why do I need these accomplishments? Why do I need other people to validate me? And it's not that those are necessarily all bad, but it becomes my life becomes selfish around these things. It's me, 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 me. And the more that I'm aligned in understanding who I am and what God has done for me, the more I am fulfilled and I can have a greater capacity to love other people. Where it's not about validating myself; it is more about how do I, love other people? How do I serve the needs of other people? How do I be a light? How do I be encouraging? How do I bring out the best out of others? And I think that is the version of me that I know that when I'm centered in God, that it allows me to love other people and to serve other people in ways that I don't think I'd be able to do in my own. And so, want to just kind of share that from my perspective. This is a little rambly, but I felt compelled because it was Easter to kind of share all of this. And so hopefully this is encouraging. I don't normally feel the most comfortable sharing about my faith, but yeah. Other than that, if you have more questions, about all of this, more than happy to take to private conversation. Feel like it makes the most sense. So if you want to ask more about my faith and everything, you can feel free to DM me or email me. I'm more than happy to have even kind of a voice conversation if there's any questions you have concerning my faith. And yeah, that's pretty much it.